All right, let's just get right into it. You have these huge dreams, right? You can see this amazing, successful life you want to live. It feels so close you can almost touch it. But then, when it comes time to actually do the work, nothing. You just freeze. And you tell yourself that old, familiar story. Tomorrow I'll start. But tomorrow never really comes. If that sounds like you, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break down the psychology of what is really going on here. And that's the absolute worst part, isn't it? That deep down feeling. You know you've got more in you, but you just feel completely stuck. But here's the thing. What if I told you this isn't some deep character flaw? It's not about you being a bad person or not having enough talent. It's a psychological pattern, a habit your brain has learned. And the very first step to changing any pattern is to actually understand it. So let's start by walking through a typical day inside this internal battle. We're going to call it the ambition-action gap. It's this cycle that keeps all your big dreams stuck in fantasyland, and I'm willing to bet it's going to look very, very familiar to you. So it starts in the morning. You wake up, you're full of good intentions. Okay, today's the day. But then you just check your phone for a minute, and before you know it, it's the middle of the day, and you're just lost in a sea of distractions, actively avoiding the one thing you know you should be doing. Then evening rolls around, you're lying in bed, and that wave of guilt and disappointment just washes over you. And what do? You promise yourself that tomorrow, for real this time, tomorrow will be different. And then the whole cycle just repeats itself. Okay, but why? Why does this keep happening? Look, to break the cycle, we have to go deeper, to the root cause. And it's not really about willpower. It's actually about the fundamental wiring of your brain. Let's take a look at how this fight is playing out inside your own head. You're basically living with two different people inside you. There's the ambitious part, the one that dreams big, sets those exciting goals, and can picture what success feels like. But then there's this other, much older, more primitive part of your brain, and its only job is to avoid discomfort. It wants you to be safe, it wants things to be easy, and it is terrified of failure. And right now, let's be honest, the part that wants comfort is winning the fight. And this, right here, this is the whole game. Your brain literally sees your big goal as a threat. The effort, the uncertainty, the chance you might fail, it doesn't see that as an opportunity for growth. It sees it as danger. So it offers you an easy way out. Scroll on social media, watch another video, and it gives you a little hit of dopamine, a little reward for choosing safety. It's basically a survival instinct that's gone haywire. It's trying to protect you from short-term discomfort, but it's actually stealing your long-term happiness. So how does your brain get away with this? How does it justify all this avoidance? Well, it uses one of the cleverest tricks in the book. It's something that sounds really positive on the surface, but it's actually a trap. Let's talk about perfectionism. Now, I want you to really let this sink in. It completely reframes everything. You think you're just waiting for the perfect moment or for the perfect plan to fall into place, but what's really happening? You're using an impossible standard as the ultimate excuse to never even start. Because think about it, if you never start, you can never fail. It's the perfect hiding place. And what are you really so afraid of? Let's get honest. You're afraid that if you actually try and it doesn't work out, you'll have to face some tough truths. Maybe your ideas aren't as brilliant as they seem in your head. Maybe you're not as special as you hoped. It's so much easier, so much safer to just live in the fantasy where your potential is infinite than it is to actually put it to the test in the messy real world. That fear is what's keeping you paralyzed. So this brings us to a really crucial point. The real enemy here, the true opposite of success, is not failure. It's inaction. See, when you fail, you actually learn something. You get feedback, you get data, you can make an adjustment. But when you do absolutely nothing, you learn nothing. You stay exactly where you are. I guarantee you, every single successful person you admire has failed way more times than you've even tried. The only difference is they kept moving. Okay, so if inaction is the enemy, how do we fight back? Well, most of us think the answer is to find more motivation, but that's just another trap. We have to stop waiting to feel like it and start building a system. It's time to talk about discipline. Let's be really clear about motivation. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. It's amazing when it shows up, but it's completely unreliable. It comes and it goes. Successful people do not wait until they feel motivated to do the work, because if they did, trust me, nothing would ever get done. You simply cannot build a life on something so unpredictable. Discipline, on the other hand, that's not a feeling.
It's a skill. Think of it like a muscle. And you build that muscle through practice. You make it stronger every single time you choose to take action when you don't feel like it. And that's the key, especially when you don't feel like it. It's all about doing it anyway.
So, how do we actually build this muscle? It's simple, but it's not easy. First, you start ridiculously small. I mean, pick one tiny thing you can do today. Second, your goal is consistency, not perfection. Just show up. That's it. Third, you have to design your environment for success. Get the distractions out of sight. Make it easier to do the right thing than the wrong thing. And finally, and this is a big one, stop learning and start doing. You already know enough to take the first step. And here is the permission slip you need to give yourself. Your first attempts at this new thing, they're probably gonna be bad. They might even be terrible. And that is not just okay, that is part of the process. No one starts out as an expert. Right now, the goal is not to be great. The goal is just to start. The goal is to be consistent. Quality will come later, I promise. All right, so taking action is half the battle. But to keep it going for the long haul, you need the right mindset. Because let's be real, progress is never a straight line. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna slip up. And what you do in that moment is what truly matters. Beating yourself up after you've wasted a day doesn't actually motivate you. It just paralyzes you even more. All that guilt and shame, that's just more fuel for the avoidance cycle. What actually works is self-compassion. It's talking to yourself the way you would talk to a good friend who's struggling. Forgiving yourself for a setback is the one thing that gives you the strength to get back on track tomorrow. And if you take nothing else away from this, please let it be this. Lazy is not who you are. It is not your identity. It's what you have been doing. It's a pattern of behavior, a coping mechanism you learn to deal with fear and discomfort. And you know what the beautiful thing about patterns is? They can be broken, and they can be replaced with new ones. You have spent more than enough time dreaming. It is time to start building. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are just stuck. And you can get unstuck starting right now. So the only question left is this. What is the one tiny, imperfect step you are going to take right now? I mean, literally as soon as this is over, to start building the life you actually want?